Hello there and a very good evening wherever you are watching us from. This is CAC TV. Welcome to our continued broadcast of the GA agenda. Today, it's about time we had from the Honorary Treasurer one-on-one with one CPA, Daniel Waithima Kifirie is going to tell me if I got that name right. But it's Daniel Waithima, the Honorary Treasurer in the 23rd General Assembly. He has also served in the 22nd General Assembly and is going to tell us more. Remember that you are allowed to be a part of this show by sending your comments, your feedback, your questions and queries through our SMS number 0111220044, our social media, CAC TV Kenya, across all social media channels. And I want to take this opportunity to say welcome, Mr. Daniel Waithima, Elder for that matter.
Thank you, Vincent,
yes.
For that welcome, and good evening all our CAC TV viewers in the various platforms. As it has been lately said, my name is Daniel Waithima Kifirie. Kifirie,
okay.
Yeah, Kifirie.
Right.
It's my surname. I'm born again. Christ is my Savior, and I cherish His salvation because of His grace and mercies upon my life. I'm a married man with one wife. My wife is Lucy Mudhoni, and we are blessed with two sons. They are adults. The first one is Anthony Kifirie. He's 26 years. And I graduate in the university from the JKUAT University. And the second born is Felix Makara. He's in the final year at the university.
Nice.
And I'm a church elder, ordained church elder in Thika Presbytery, and a member of PCA Thika Town Parish, where I serve as a church elder. But previously, I was ordained as a church elder in the Greater Thika Parish, and then thereafter in 2019, the parish was subdivided, and I found myself in the new Thika Town Parish. Professionally, I'm a certified public accountant. My career, I've been a career civil servant, an auditor, a public sector auditor, currently working in the office of the Auditor General. So my work is basically audit, but more so in public sector audit, where I've been exposed to various types of audits, financial audits, forensic audit, and all types of audits. And I am very happy even to be hosted today to even give the journey at the General Assembly, and I'm very happy for this moment.
Yeah, and you know, by the virtue of the position you hold in church and in the General Assembly, you are one of the most quiet, if I may say so, because you don't see you speak a lot. Because you know, the spokesperson is the Secretary General, and then there is his deputy, and of course the father of the church, the moderator. But you are very integral in the General Assembly as well, and we are going to divulge into how important the role of Honorary Treasurer is. But first of all, you've said that you are a certified public, accountant. And you've served for quite a while in the public sector in terms of auditing finances. Do you think that whatever you've done out there is really, integral in helping you achieve in your role as the HT of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa?
Yeah, perfect. One thing I want to maybe say is that accounting, auditing is a profession. In whichever setup you'll find yourself in, the principles, the concepts of audit and accounting are universal. So you only enhance it in a different environment. And I found it very handy even when you are in the church setup, because accounting is about accountability, the processes, and that's all. So whether you are orientation, the processes are the same. But only that this is more of these are they are charitable organizations, but they also a business aspect, because the church also has invested in a business setup, whereby we also expect to realize surplus in those operations. But basically, the concepts, the principles are universal. And that's why we are guided as a profession. We apply the standards. And also we are oversighted. When you're an accountant, you are certified. Irrespective of the area you're working, could be self-employed, could be in an organization, the principles are the same.
You must work under the principles of CPAC, is it? SPAC.
Yes, but SPAC is a body, but the standards, it's a profession, an academic. You have to sit for exams, you have to study, and then also you are certified so that you are oversighted. Yes.
And there are ethics, of course, that you
yes,
follow.
your professional ethics.
And now for a person watching this show, and possibly they are younger than me, the youngins, and they don't really understand what is a honorary treasurer in the Presbyterian Church of East Africa setup, and how important the role is. Can we first help them understand what is a honorary treasurer and what's the role all about?
Thank you, Vincent. A honorary treasurer, for a start, is one of the General Assembly officials, and this is a position that is reserved to a church elder. The other General Assembly officials, if I may mention them, we have the moderator of the General Assembly, we have the Secretary General, and also the Deputy Secretary General. These are ordained clergy, but the honorary treasurer is an elder, ordained elder of the church. So for you to be a honorary treasurer, in accordance with the practice and procedure which guides the church, you must be an ordained elder and an active one.
So the first qualification is an active ordained elder?
Yes. And if the process, these are an elective position, which means that whenever a vacancy arises, the Secretary General will always send a letter to all the presbyteries indicating that there is a vacancy, and then he outlines the qualifications or what is required. So, but basically the practice and procedure manual has outlined that somebody with financial knowledge, because basically that is what is expected of
so
you.
So what level of financial knowledge do they require?
Okay, from our practice and procedure manual, it's not detailed. It's quite general, because it talks of knowledge in accounting or finance. But because the church has grown, it has been found important to also match the qualification with the industry. And in that respect, when the letter is sent, they have always indicated that should be a certified public accountant. So during my time and the subsequent position, which now we have already filled, it was very clear that the person who is to be elected should have those qualifications. So he should be a certified public accountant. But maybe as we move forward, we also need to benchmark with the industry, the corporate world, and also maybe institutions like government, because when we have such high positions, we are also going further to maybe align it with the Chapter 6 of the Constitution,
integrity.
because you see now we are also bound by the Constitution, and maybe going forward will be. It's my prayer that we also indicate the Chapter 6 qualifications, the
ESCC clearance,
clearance, KRA,
CRB, and all that.
Yeah, just to align it to the industry, and also given that as a church we are not we have very many talents. When if we can do account of certified accountants.
You are not short of talent in the church. If you really wanted qualified men and women,
yes,
they are in plenty.
Yeah, so I know that we are in the review process of the practice and procedure, and I think some of these things have been captured as we review the PNP.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So if I get you, the first qualification to be a honorary treasurer, to fit, that office is, first of all, it must be an elder.
Yes. An
active one, for that matter. Secondly, they should have knowledge on finances.
Yeah.
Another?
Yes. The other one, you should also have proven yourself. You could be, you may not have been engaged. You could be an elder, but you have not shown experience in the church setup. So here I have in mind you ought to have been a treasurer in a parish, in a presbytery, or even in your work as in the church, you could have engaged yourself of being involved in work that would prove that you are capable. Because also a church is a specialized area. We're also looking the history, what have you achieved in that other levels as you are serving the church.
Yeah. So all that, and then you say it's elective. Yes. What is the electoral process of a honorary treasurer? Does it begin in the parish, in the presbytery? How do you get your name to now decision makers in the GA or in the business committee that really makes decisions of even leadership?
Okay. What happens, the elections in the church are done at the presbytery level, but when the position is declared vacant, when the letter is sent to the presbyteries, it's also cascades to the sessions. So the session clerk would always send that information to the elders, those who are interested, and then they praise the advert, or rather the application, which now the court forwards. Because ordinarily in a church setup, a court cannot present two names, so they'll always pick one among the applicants. Through a minute, it's forwarded the names. The name is forwarded to the respective presbytery, and then the presbytery also would have invited several applicants. Say a presbytery with 10 parishes would expect to get like 10 applicants, and out of the 10 applicants, the court will nominate one of its members to be the nominee to be a candidate rather, not a nominee. And the name is sent to the Secretary General. By that time, there will be a nomination committee set by the business committee. So this committee receives all those applications, and then through their wisdom, they scale it. I've seen that they would get 5 names out of the many applicants. who are now subjected to the process. But it's good to mention that not all parishes or presbyteries present names. So the committee works with the names that are presented, who are now subjected. They are sent to the parish, to the presbyteries. And the process is like the one who gets more votes is the sole nominee, is the sole candidate for that presbytery.
Simple majority.
Yeah. And then that nomination process now ensues. Yeah. So
and who makes the final decision now? Because I know you are nominated, you are not yet now really been elected to serve. Who now, after the name has been, you've been nominated as the candidate, who makes the final decision? Is it the business committee, or the GA, the three offices of the GA?
Actually, the final determination. All these processes are nominees until maybe the designated. But the final decision is the election, so to speak, is done at the General Assembly. Yeah, that is when the General Assembly is constituted. That's the time now the clerks of the Assembly.
Okay, like now, right now, because I know we are going to transit next week into the 24th General Assembly. There is already Honorary designate Honorary treasurer. So the election will happen next week. Yes,
that is precisely.
Can it be cancelled at that stage? Can that name be stricken out?
Not really, but that is the process. And that's why we even as we speak, we always talk of designate. So designate, it means there is an event which is yet to happen.
More formal, it's more of formality.
But other than those who are well versed with the church processes, we know of designate, and the election is on that day.
Yeah. Wow. And you've served for now, this is your last term. I understand you began serving at the 22nd General Assembly. You served 3 years. You are elected again for a 3-year, your last now term. And this is your last term that will be concluding in less than a week's time. Now, I want you to help me understand, when you came into office, what was your vision about the finances of the church, about the projects of the church, about the books of the church? What was in your mind? And when you got into office in 2018, was it?
Yes.
What exactly were you looking at as an achievement for you?
Okay, for me, my strategy, or rather my vision, was to have an organization whose books are balancing, because when I came in the first GA, our accounts were qualified, and you see, qualifying accounts, it means there's an issue.
People don't understand qualifying. What does it mean?
Okay. And it was a very interesting debate.
Qualification is a good term.
Yes.
But in finance, it's not a good thing when you deal with books.
What in accounting, when you talk of unqualified accounts, that is the best, because it means there is no issue. When the auditor does his tests, is certain, or rather, audit is a test, is a sample basis. From the samples that he has taken and the test he has carried, he has no reason to doubt. But in that first the GA that I was installed, the accounts were qualified. It means there were some issues which which
arose
on those accounts.
Yeah.
So my first task, and with also the GA officers who are there, was to address what were some of the reasons. But the good thing was the issues which led to qualifying of the accounts are not issues that were strange, because basically our books, we had very large. Even today, it's now that we are trying to clear the balance sheet, we have old debts which are not realizable, which make our balance sheet appear good, but these are debts, and then also we have not valued our assets, which under the standards the auditor is supposed to say so. But over time we were able to sit down and try to address those challenges. The other thing which
how long did it take for you now to, work the books out, the issues
that one in the subsequent audit, we were able now to justify why
in the first year?
Why we are having very large balances, because if you go through our traditions, our church also has a very strong traditions, which sometimes conflict with the generally accepted accounting principles, because in the setup of our church, we don't write off debts. Like, say you have given a parish some MMF and they don't pay within a given year, we always accumulate. But the best practice in accounting, you're supposed to provide 30% of your loan book as bad debts, and that was a reason which led to those qualifications. So over time, the business committee has pronounced itself that in as much as our tradition will not allow writing off of debts, sometimes it's not realizable. So it's only this year now we have been able to have a minute of the business, and I believe so some of the things will also be in the General Assembly. So in the first year we're able to have a discussion, and also in some of the standards, when you consider some of these monies we call for, they are like subscription, whereby you are a member of a club, say Bodega Golf Club, you have arrears in subscription. So they don't write off subscription. So for us at that point in time, we were able to discuss with the auditor what we can provide is the business, the trading results, like say what is in the hotels, what is say in the hospitals,
the money making,
the business, because we are certain of. But maybe an MMF that is coming from a parish, that one it's a discussion the church needs to address, because it's a bit.
This is something that you, as the financial advisor of the church, you propose to the church to address?
Yes, in that if you are to write off, we need also to go deeper. What could have led to non-remittance, but a blanket provision, as it's supposed to be, is not easy, because we are likely to see some of the parishes. If I realize parish X has not paid, and this time they were allowed, will also not pay next year. So those are some of the challenges, but it's something that came out clearly. The other thing which I thought we would manage is financial independence, because when you look at the General Assembly, 80% of its budget is supported by the MMFs coming from parishes. The model we thought would be, say, in a span of 5 or 10 years. We are looking forward to a situation where we'll not really rely on the parishes to sustain the General Assembly. And that was through, say, having several revenue streams, say, investing, say, we have real estate that will augment so that we don't rely on MMFs. And
what are some of these revenue streams that you proposed?
Yeah, in the first GA, in the 22nd, we were able to come up with Lavington. There's the
real estate project.
Yes, that was where this used to be the residence of the moderator, the General Assembly, but it was agreed, rather than just having a standalone resident, we can come up with townhouses, which we're able to develop 7 townhouses, and which generate at optimal should be 1.2 million for the church.
Monthly?
Yes. But sequentially, we'd also thought that around here at South Sea, we also thought that we can have an apartment, maybe 8, 10 floor apartments, gradually. Because one thing you need to appreciate, Vincent, we have a lot of land, especially in Nairobi, in very prime areas, and some of the revenue that we receive, we realize is not equivalent. You know, from an accounting perspective, when you own assets, those assets are supposed to generate revenue for you. But you realize we have very prime property in some of the best places in the city. But what we realize is very true. I'm sure one of these fine days, if you ask the Presbyterian Foundation to take you around our prime areas in Kirimani, you'll find our property is dwarfed by 10 floors, 15 floors. And these are the discussion perhaps the church need to consider, because with these prime assets, we need to earn a lot. So those are some of the areas perhaps we thought, and I believe with the GA, the 24th GA, those are the discussions. Yeah, because
how far are the discussions now that you came into office in 2018, 6 years later, so to speak? How far are the discussion towards developing these prime areas that you have, and you feel that the church can really make that as a good revenue stream? How far are the discussions now that there is the 24th year coming in? What is in the plate for them to take off? Yeah,
actually, the stage is already set, because now we have really re-engineered the Presbyterian Foundation. You see, one thing we appreciate as Presbyterian Church of East Africa, how we work is so structured. In terms of property, that's the ambit of the Presbyterian Foundation. But so far, the GA and the business have really engineered the Presbyterian Foundation, and those discussions are already in foundation. Yeah, and it's just a matter of now actualizing, because I'm happy that the business committee, that is the 23rd this General Assembly Business Committee, had an opportunity to visit all those facilities, and the sentiments were just like what I'm saying, because we cannot continue having just townhouses amidst, so to speak, a forest of very prime land. And I think it's just a matter of having the right structures and so that we can actualize. Because with our own resources,
Yeah.
I can assure you that it's not possible to use our own resources, because the cost of capital and the kind of a facility perhaps you'd want to have, you need to have partners to come in. Yes.
Parts in terms of loan facilities,
Yes.
developmental loans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that that's the way to go. Otherwise, these assets will not really help us as an institution. Yeah.
Before I go to that, let me because we are talking about your achievement in the last 6 years. So you said it's like all you said. It's work in progress, and because as you said, it's a process. What do you think? What do you say is one of the reasons that you feel 6 years were not enough for you to achieve what you thought the 2 GAs should have achieved? What was the biggest impediment?
I think one of the greatest hit which really affected, this was a global phenomenon, the COVID 2019, 2020,
March 2020.
that was the lowest moment. One, you see the church, the global, environment.
Yeah.
And I think even as an economy, or the world economy, even Kenya, when you read most of these reports from the National Treasury, or even the investors, the risk investors, they always, that is something that we cannot ignore. Yeah. So the pace at which maybe we were to work on was curtailed. And then also even as we came in, there are also other challenges which were there.
Right.
And for one, the Milele, the apartments, the loan at NBK. So in a way, those are things that really, though by that time, we had already started to mobilize resources so that we manage the NBK loan. At the same time, we complete those apartments. But now, because that's how Kairete came on board. When we came in the minute of 21st General Assembly business, there was that minute to come to see how we can mobilize so that we secure or save those facilities. This is something that is still work in progress. But I'm happy to note that other partners have come in within the church, and it's something that should be implemented. So, in as much as you come in, you will also find in an organization like this one, there are those challenges which are somehow historical. And you cannot wish them away because when you come in, you have a very clear mind.
But should there be responsibility and accountability in that if a certain leadership has been positioned for a certain period of time and another one is coming in, and when you find things are questionable, if I may use that, should there be accountability and responsibility on those that were in office at that particular time?
Yes, because leadership, strategic leadership, is about having a roadmap. Maybe that's why we are saying, as a church, as an organization, we need to borrow the best practice, because one of the challenges that you'll find we found ourselves in is that as a church, some of these projects, however good they may be, we ought to have done more of what we may call cost-benefit analysis. So those best practices, I believe, is what we need to have. So that, and also the SP, but the SP alone may not help. we need, as we move forward, and I know the business committee has proposed very good committees as a way of oversight, and what we need more from where I sit is to have a monitoring and evaluation mechanism, so that even as you come in, it's not a matter of how much you can do. You'll find a framework in which you'll navigate through. Those are some of the issues I believe will really help the church. And in most cases, we always view the GA, but from where I sit, these are best practices that should be employed from the lowest level. And Vincent, one thing you need to appreciate, our church operates different from maybe the government. Resources trickle coming up.
So
unlike now the government
that trickles from up down.
So you realize we need to employ all these best practices so that every coin that comes to the church is applied for the benefit of the organization.
And these are proposals that you, as the financial advisor, has written to the church. Can these, because they are really good, I've had a couple of them here in this sitting, I think 2 or 3 that you mentioned. Have you put this in writing, in papers that can be, read through even when you are not in the office?
Actually, maybe the other success story, in the 22nd General Assembly, the Finance Committee, I was able to develop policy documents. When we came on board, we didn't have policy documents. And you'll agree with me, from a finance perspective, if you cannot be able to document your processes, then even if whichever auditor who comes on site will always qualify your accounts. So one of the challenges, if I may go back, is what we realized we didn't have these documents. And I really wish to thank the Finance Committee, the 22nd. We developed 5 policy documents. The only one that was left is because the finance structure had an aspect of the constitution of the church. So that one is among
like it needed a certain clause in the constitution to be amended for it to suit
but about procurement, we didn't have a procurement policy, we didn't have an investment policy, we didn't have an ICT policy. And I'm happy to say that we are the few organizations who have an anti-fraud policy, which we're able to develop. Now the next level, which I think, and we already started, we are now doing what we call enterprise resource planning. The ERP now, which we have already started, is already at the foundation, is now what will also help the church. Because now, having a robust ICT infrastructure, that will be able now to integrate the processes. But now this one will require a lot of support, because the other challenge that we find ourselves in, our structure to some extent is good, but it also slows down.
Is it bureaucratic?
They are and not even bureaucratic. This is even, for me, I would find it even more than bureaucratic, because it's about the court. We have 2 other courts down here, who, according to our structure, our law, they're independent. The GA, to an extent, what we have approved. Those are the expenditures. We may not be able to oversight them, but with an ERP, whereby all our processes are able to be viewed.
Yeah. All through down from the parish, presbytery.
Yeah.
All up.
Because one thing that we also need to appreciate, whatever money we collect at all levels, the license is issued by the SG. But now that interface
it's kind of blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't exactly know what the financial streams are down there, down there. As much as he's the one who is the signatory, compulsory one, he doesn't really get to understand what exactly is in terms of streams, revenue streams in different areas.
And also to bring it in a more understandable way. You see, even at the presbytery, there's a presbytery moderator and the presbytery clerk.
Yeah.
Other than the budget to run the presbytery, they are not privy to what now the respective parishes. Likewise, now we come to the parishes. In a situation where we have several parish congregations, the parish minister, the moderator of the parish, other than the budget of the court, say the session, he's also not privy to what the other congregation.
Okay.
And that to me also makes the work of, say, the honorary treasurer to be a very pedestrian.
Yes.
Because
so passenger like.
What is supposed to happen when you talk financial management, you should be able to view it from the comfort of your handset. Say the PCA budget for these entities, but you're able now to view, not really to use these funds, but also to make decisions.
Yeah, when you make decisions, you make them from a point of information.
Yeah, so, and that's why you, for me, if we embrace the ERP technology and we be open, we can go very far.
Yeah, and before we move away from that issue to do with funds, the MMFs and everything from down there, there is a viewer called Sir Nixon Mburu Ndugire. This is a comment on our Facebook page, CAC TV Kenya, and this is what they're asking. By the way, is Kairete still being funded, and if yes, how?
Yeah, good. Okay, Kairete, for me, Kairete was meant to mobilize resources, and I would want to say that was the best idea the church had, because out of that arrangement, we were able to secure our hotel then, and we were able to mobilize up to date close to 500 million. And when we started, that is March, remember the leaders, the presbytery leaders came around January 2019. For the first 1 year, from March to March 2020 when COVID struck, we were receiving 13 million from the parishes.
Monthly?
Yeah, monthly.
Monthly.
That was unprecedented. But over time, we have been able to continue
dwindling.
Collecting.
The contribution
actually, most of the parishes have cleared their bit.
Okay.
Actually, we even added 1 year, and they continued supporting because this was but now
this Kairete, what is its job exactly? When it began with the vision of working on the Milele apartments in Mombasa, right? That was the basis of it even being created. So is it still to fund the apartments in Mombasa or other projects?
No, initially the first task was to rescue. It was actually a rescue mission.
Yes.
But over time, the Kairete has, they were the initial members who are being tasked. And actually, they were identified to secure the General Assembly officials so that these are independent, they can be able to create comfort and trust, and they did. And more so, the GA was represented by one of the officials in that committee, so it was within, they were able to get all the information, so it was not something that was off. And they did a lot. The team that were the promoters, the first team, actually they handed over sometimes last year. And now to institutionalize Kairete, Kairete now is a wholly subsidiary of Presbyterian Foundation.
All right.
Because in the fullness of time, it has a mandate. Maybe as we move forward, this will be, it's basically meant to be an investment arm. It's the one that will, some of those ideas, those are projects that we are looking forward to have, is the one that will be taxed. Because it's always good to appreciate when it comes to business and investment, our PP is very clear. This is the sole responsibility of Presbyterian Foundation.
All right.
So I appreciate the 23rd in the sense that we have really tried to institutionalize so that we are within our law, and Kairete is still on, and we really appreciate. I know close to 70% of the parishes were able to honor, and the few that have also promised, because they have owned the process. So that also one thing we also appreciate, our church setup, the areas which are well endowed, others are not well endowed, but the spirit
to
support,
contribute and support.
It's there. It's there.
And do you think that in order to, precipitate this spirit that your people have to support openness, accountability, when they give this 100 bob, it gets to do what it's meant to do, and they see that project moving forward, and making being independent for that matter. Do you think it's important as well? Because like now the project in Mombasa, until today, since it began, until today it's still struggling. Yeah, it has not seen exactly fruition for that matter.
Accountability, alleged, it's something that we cannot shy away of. And any coin that comes to church should be applied for the purposes it's meant to. So whether it's for the projects, whether for those other expenditure payments, it should be an eligible payment. So we have not reached where we ought to be, but I think from where I sit, it will not be fair to abandon a project which to me I say it's so priceless, and also the commitment and the sacrifice, because I know most of these places where we got these Kairete funds, some of them suspended some activities. You'd go to, because thank God we are able to visit all these regions.
Possibly they were building an office for the preacher, and they just suspended so that they can support Kairete.
Yeah, so it's something, it is painful that we have not realized, but we can see from where I sit, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Do you think the tunnel is too long?
No.
You can't see the light as soon as
no, it should come. What I have seen perhaps is like maybe the information flow perhaps is what perhaps has not been very clear, and maybe even those meetings, those forums. I think also we need to also to have very good communication, because that clear information flow has been working against us. But for me, from where I sit, accountability, we cannot run away from accountability. Because also, Vincent, what we, and this is my take, let us not focus our energies at the GA or the head office, for that matter. I believe when we talk accountability, and I'm happy when we develop this policy document, they are supposed to be applied across board, but also amongst our parishes and congregation. They have also developed their accountability documents, because what we appreciate, this church is very rich in knowledge, and what we have encouraged, even congregation, have your own systems of checks and balances. So when we do that, we'll be a very strong church. And also, one aspect you need to know, and we've done some statistics, ordinarily, without Kairete, when you consider the MMF, which we call for, some of the statistics that we have carried, it is not more than 10% of the turnover of that parish, because MMF is gauged as per parish strength. So a lot of resources, and I think that's also the vision of the GA. We didn't, as I alluded earlier, we want a lot of resources to be left so that these people can do all that. Because you see, the GA at this level is more of a liaison. The real stuff is down there. But also at this level, it's also good to appreciate, we also support the mission areas. One thing we need to appreciate, out of the 61 presbyteries, Tanzania Mission Presbytery, it's a mission presbytery, we are supposed to pay the ministers there. I think we are 5 or 6. We are also supporting the ministers in Uganda. We are supporting also in some other very hard areas. So it is a complex balance.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand. And even as we move on, because time is really moving, you said there's a phrase you said, you don't think it's a good thing to abandon a project that has been ongoing. When we were talking with the moderator of the 23rd General Assembly, the Right Honorable Fegro Ntahi Patrick, he said he thinks going forward, infrastructure should not be a priority of the General Assembly, because he feels there are more issues, there are other issues that are more pertinent that needs addressing, like looking at the mission areas, looking at, the status of churches and those areas, how they are. There are areas that don't even have evangelists, that is what he said, and they felt, and of course the debts that have been lingering around for years. He felt that those are the things that needs focus right now, and not infrastructure. You as a financial advisor, is this something that you copy and something that you agree and support and say going forward we need to change tact?
Vincent, I think to answer that, we need to have a balance.
Okay.
And I like to concur.
Yeah.
Because first and foremost, where does the church exist? That is
formation. Yeah.
But now you cannot do mission without finances, in as much as you want to do this mission. And that's why I said the challenge that was there is because we ventured into areas without very much thought.
Okay.
Which I think we have acknowledged that actually in most of these forums. That's something we have acknowledged. But having done what we may call situational analysis, then we need to get the best mix. Because one of the challenge is we can abandon. But now, what are the solutions? Those are some of the intricacies. But I believe we need to strike a balance because we require the resources. But if you are to require these resources,
for you, what you feel,
yeah,
the General Assembly or the head office should try as much as possible to be financially independent.
Yes.
In terms of, they don't have to really depend much on what they get from the presbyteries and the parishes, but try and have projects that are man-making. Yeah. This is what all General Assemblies have tried to do, and it looks like the pace is a little slower than it ought to be.
Yeah, and I think that's why I said what will be the impetus is now the foundation, because you see most of these activities, like when we came in, the foundation was at its lowest level. But now we have really enhanced it in terms of governance. I happen to be a board member, and I can tell you what I found and what is happening now is just a matter of time. We've got very, very progressive board members,
competent,
with diverse skills, which I think it's just a matter of time, and we see very well the results. But for me, in a project that we are entering into, we need to do cost-benefit analysis, and as the projects are implemented, we need to have a monitoring and evaluation team, which now will be giving us signals. Because you see, and I'm not saying that we copy our peers. It is not possible to do mission without and good money, because you see, if you are to like now the evangelist, we have various vacant areas. You need now to do a budget that will sustain them. It's not a matter of stop, whistle, or you pay 1 month. These people will also not serve. So it's a discussion that need to be escalated. But I agree. Those cost-benefit analysis, and because you see some of these projects were conceived around 2010. That is 14 years. So you see, it's not something that you can wish it away or have a quick fix. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe to ask a question here. There's a question here sent on SMS, and they're asking, why doesn't PCA Church publicize annual financial reports like other churches do?
We do, Vincent. Actually, when we are going for the General Assembly or the GSC, we have this big document called the docket. That is basically the reports of every entity in terms of the normal report, the financial statement. So, maybe what perhaps we don't do, okay, in our studying orders, you have to have that report in the docket. And then during the assembly, every committee or board has to present. Mm-hmm. So maybe those documents are there. Mm-hmm. Maybe, perhaps what we need to do, and I think that's a very good question, is to use technology. Mm-hmm. After now these reports have been presented at the GA or GAC, we can upload them
in your website.
And this happens like in the organization I work for. Yeah. The Auditor General uploads all the reports. So if you want to see a report of any entity, so I think this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
Because
in terms of communication, you need to do better.
Yes. Yes.
And because time is not on our side, I would like us to conclude. But I would like to ask you one question as to conclude. Yeah. 6 years. What is one regret you feel? Me as the Honorary Treasurer for 6 years, I should have done better, but now I'm not in a position to, because time is not on my side. Do you regret anything?
Not really regret, but I would have wished by the time I'm leaving, at least we've done maybe half, or rather the Kairete, because Kairete came on board. I found it. That's an area which I believe
should have done better.
Should be done. Mm-hmm. At least with all those challenges, it's something that the church should do everything, because we always look at the risk and the loss. The church may lose, and maybe the confidence maybe of the readers may be gauged on some of those things. And also one thing I don't really regret, but from where I sit, I'm leaving a church very strong, because subsequently after the 2018, and now we have had 2 auditors auditing us. They've given us very good
reports.
Yeah, we've always had very good reports. And it's only a few things that need to be addressed.
But you feel like you're leaving it in a better place than you found it?
Definitely. Definitely.
Whoever is going to succeed, you will have a better ground to play on, compared to what you got when you came into office.
Yeah, because you start on the face value. When you go to any organization, the first thing that you consider are the financial statements. What are the statements saying? Leave those debts which cannot be addressed within 1 year, but in terms of the operation of the organization, I'm sure the church is on the right trajectory. What needs to be done is the support. We support the readers who are coming in, because we are a church of 133 years.
Yeah, quite a long time.
Yes.
And I just want to read a few that I'm, congratulating you and, celebrating you for the 6 years. Holy Bridge said, congratulations, bro. We are watching you. It's also one called Robert Maura says, congratulations, my fellow ISPAC College, for the professionalism you've shown during your 6 years in office. God bless you. So another says, HT, you've done your best. God bless you. Mr. Waithima, one of the best HTs we've had. And so many just saying congratulations and pongezi for what you've done. You think you deserve those congratulations, you feel?
I'm humbled. I'm humbled.
All right. Maybe I give you an opportunity for your last words, even if you look at the camera, and also, speak to your successor who is taking over from you in a few days now. Just look at this camera and give you a parting shot.
Actually, I first of all want to thank God for that. I never envisaged that I would be Honorary Treasurer. Actually, I was just serving the church as an elder, but that by the grace of God, I found I made it to this place. So for me, I just wish my successor, David, all the best. In an organization, we are on a stage, and the time for me has come to an end. So I just wish you all the best. The beauty is that we are still in this church, and we will continue supporting, continue to pray for you, and also the 24th General Assembly. We are looking forward for them to take us to another level, because that is what is all about organization, learning. Thank you.
Right. That is the outgoing Honorary Treasurer by the name CPA. I know that time if you don't mention it, it just cost you a good fortune for you to have that title, CPA. Daniel Waithima Kifirie, who served 6 years as the Honorary Treasurer of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa. Served 2 assemblies, general assemblies, now exiting next week, handing over. And we would like to say thank you for being a part of this show. And Honorary Treasurer, are they paid? That's the question I forgot to ask.
Honorary Treasurer, we are not paid. We are not on a salary. I'm not, and that's why you don't see me every other day. Because we just elders, we serve, we offer pro bono services, just to ensure the word of God. We support the ministry.
Sure. You need to be appreciated because of that.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for watching the show. God bless you. We'll see you again tomorrow. We'll be doing a one-on-one with, of course, the Secretary General, the former Secretary General, who is also going to give us his beat, what he feels through the years. HT tells me must give a word. I give you 2 minutes to close with that.
Thank you, Vincent.
Yeah. Just a short one.
Just read a Bible verse.
Okay.
Just to.
That's your verse. That,
yes.
I'm supposed to do through the years.
Okay. Yeah, for me, as I exit, this is from Jeremiah 17, 7 to 8. Just a short verses.
Okay.
I read Jeremiah 17, 7 and 8. Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose trust is the Lord. He's like a tree planted by water that sends out its roots by the stream and does not fear when heat comes. For its leaves remain green and is not anxious in the year of drought, for it does not cease to bear fruit. Amen.
Wow. What a verse. A nice one, eh?
Yes.
Blessed is the man whose trust is in the Lord.
Yes.
All right, and I think that is a good note for us to call it an evening here on the show. I'll say God bless you. See you again tomorrow for yet another show at 8 p.m. Tomorrow, my colleague Leonard Mpoke will be hosting the former SG retired Reverend Festus, of course, who will be Gitonga, who will be giving us his view of leadership as far as the church is concerned. My name is Vincent Kerosi, and I'm signing out to say good night. God bless you. Go ahead.